What's up, everyone? Welcome to the December 15th edition of the NBA Injury Report, brought to you by BetMGM. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. We have a four-game NBA slate to look at tonight. Not a ton of injury news, but a few spots that are interesting to talk about, and we'll get to those in a second. But as a reminder, click the link in the description below, sign up and make a deposit at BetMGM, place a real money wager, and receive a risk-free first bet up to $1,000. Be sure to click the link in the description below to take advantage of this offer. Now, getting on to the injury news for tonight's slate, we don't have an injury report yet from the LA Clippers, so that part, everybody is kind of questionable since they played yesterday. I assume Kawhi Leonard's not going to play. Ivica Zubac left yesterday's game early with an injury, so we may not see him play. Assuming Kawhi is out, it makes Paul George look better. It makes everybody look at least somewhat better, but George being the primary beneficiary. If Zubac is out, it's likely that we get Nick Batum in the starting lineup, and you could also see more minutes from Robert Covington. Beyond that, I don't have expectations on who will or won't play. Luke Kennard could sit the second half of the back-to-back as well. If that's the case, you probably just get fringe rotation pieces from the Clippers stepping up a little bit more. Maybe you get more John Wall alongside Reggie Jackson, so a potential beneficiary there, but we still have to wait and see what that injury report actually looks like. As far as the injury reports that we have gotten, Jabari Smith is now questionable for the Houston Rockets. If he were to miss this game, it's likely that Kenyon Martin Jr. slides into the starting lineup. He is inexpensive, so he would look like a good option in increased playing time. And you would also probably get more minutes for Tari Eason, who's a very good point per minute fantasy producer and would likely see more minutes as well. For the Miami Heat, another crazy injury report from them, as they do most days. Bam Adebayo is questionable. Nikola Jovic is questionable. Caleb Martin is questionable. Dwayne Dedmon is out. Kyle Lowry is out. Jimmy Butler is probable. Tyler Hero is probable. Max Strus is probable. So this team is going to have between 8 and 11 players, assuming that the probable players play and that the couple of players that are not on the injury report also play. If you get the questionable players, Martin, Jovic, and Adebayo ruled out, they would have 8 players. Those 8 players would be Jimmy Butler, Jamal Cain, Haywood Highsmith, Tyler Hero, Udonis Haslem, Duncan Robinson, Orlando Robinson, and Max Strus. In that case, you're just playing a lot of Miami. You would have a very thin front court where I assume Orlando Robinson would start and Udonis Haslem would actually play some backup center minutes, but I don't know for sure because that situation would just be a mess. You would get, Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero having the entire offense run through them. Haywood Highsmith would need to play more. Max Strus would need to play a ton. So in the situation where you have 8 guys, it's kind of just play a lot of Miami. The starting lineup would tell us more. But individually, if Bam is out, again, you get a very questionable front court there with no Dwayne Dedmon. If Nikola Jovic is available and Bam is out, Jovic should look like a good option. If Jovic and Bam are both out, then you get to that situation where I would guess that Orlando Robinson starts and Udonis Haslem backs him up, but don't really know for sure because we haven't seen that. But that would be my assumption there. For Caleb Martin, if he is out, I assume that you're just getting more stable minutes for Max Strus. You also should get more minutes from Duncan Robinson. Also with Adebayo in particular, if he is out, you are talking about increased usage and playmaking for Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero, since Adebayo is such a big part of the offense. And finally, for the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton are questionable. This is a little bit easier to talk about than Miami because it's two just distinct players. If DeAndre Ayton is out, you will likely get either Jack Landale or Bismack Biyombo starting at center. Biyombo started the second half after Ayton was injured last game. They are both close to minimum salary. They both will look like good options one way or the other. Whichever one is starting has you can project their minutes a little bit more confidently, but at the same time, they're going to be a lot more popular. So there is a trade-off there in tournaments, but they'll both look good with if there are 48 center minutes available with Ayton out. For Booker, he's been out for a couple of games, and as a result, you have seen prices start to adjust. Chris Paul specifically jumped $2,000 on DraftKings from the last time that he played. If Booker's out, Paul would look fine, but not like the same plug-and-play guy he was last time out. If Booker is in, it takes most of the value away from Paul. Similarly, Mikal Bridges, mediocre game in terms of fantasy production last time out, did get up 24 field goal attempts. He just shot incredibly poorly. We know he's going to play a lot of minutes one way or the other, but he's likely to play a bit more if Booker is out. He's likely to get more usage as well. If DeAndre Ayton is in and Booker is out, it makes Ayton look a bit better also, despite how poorly he played in the first half of the last game. We got Landry Shamet starting last game in place of Dario Saric with Booker out. I expect that would be the case again, but they could go a variety of ways. Basically, if Booker is out, it makes everybody that is playing look better. And if Ayton is out, it really bumps up the combination of Bismack Biyombo and Jock Landale. So to recap, the injury news that we're waiting on, the entire Clippers injury report. Jabari Smith is questionable for Houston. Bam Adebayo, Nikola Jovic, and Caleb Martin are questionable for Miami. And DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker are both questionable for the Phoenix Suns.